Welcome to the CDO interview series with group CDOs. Today we have Thibault from ALS. Thank you very much for joining us, Thibault.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
So we had a very rich conversation a couple of weeks ago on understanding the why of ALS, understanding that you're an organization who owns a lot of labs around the world and who is a leading company in certification of information, like, for example, saying how much gold do you actually have from a mine, or understanding if what is the quality of a water, or how does it look from a food quality for restaurants and supermarkets. So very interesting case, because a very data-driven company from the essence, from the history, right, is at the core of what you have, and therefore have also a huge database of data that you have to sell. So probably what we would like to do in today's session is to understand better the how. How are you organizing yourself? So perhaps you could give us a quick understanding of what are some organization structures, processes, some practices that you have in working on your data and AI objectives.
Thank you very much for the invitation. I'm very glad to answer this question because, we are, as we say, a data-driven company by essence, and providing reliable data to our customers is at the essence of what we do. And we are a trust provider, and we are very proud of that for multiple sectors, like mining industry, obviously, which is our incumbent business, but also to environmental organization and as well as food industry. How are we structured? It's very important because ALS is by nature a decentralized organization, and we have 450 labs across the world. We have been able to standardize a lot by different line of business, the way of working of each labs. In geochemistry, we have official, we are developing our own operating software from the lab, which is called Laboratory Information Management System. We are, have a complete control over the processes, the quality of the data, and the way of working of each lab in the world. And we have been, developing those softwares for now 20, 30 years ago. In the case of the mining industry, in the case of food industry, we started a little later. And also in the environmental industry, we started a little later. In the food industry, even later. The fact that we have internalized, the core engine of, how the lab works is something very important, which gives us a capability to control the data, to control the output, and also to provide consistent and reliable information to our customers. So concretely, we have development teams, mostly in Spain, but also in many other countries that develop the softwares for all over the labs, and we are investing in developing this software and rolling it out to multiple parts of the lab. That's the first point. Second point, we've made a very early move to cloud. I think we built a database in the cloud in Microsoft Azure more than 10 years ago. So we do have a lot of experience and maturity in the way we manage our data. That's something very important because that data is of the essence, and we are very proud, and we have a lot of data quality in Microsoft Azure that we're working at. Now we are accelerating into generative AI. Like many companies in the world, generative AI is one of the key priority because we do believe it will give us, our lab technicians, better ability to respond, in a much faster way to the customers, and also some efficiency we can have internally.
And just for me to understand, because you're a very decentralized organization, plus you have a big variety of activities that are very different, right? If you say you some analysis of food, then of water, then of mines, how much synergies can you actually have from mining and food and water and the different activities in your analysis?
As an IT data organization, our objective is to build the enablers that will help all the business lines and support their activity. And the enablers from IT perspective or data perspective, they are pretty much the same. For example, computer vision. Computer vision in mining industry, or computer vision in food, or computer vision in enviro are not so different. Okay, they are the same use case applied to multiple business lines. And numerical validation, AI numerical validation of the results, consistency is also pretty much the same use case. It's a machine learning use case applied to different sectors and different contexts. In generative AI, we have also, for example, knowledge bot. The knowledge bot, which is a traditional and simple RAG. I'm sure everybody is aware of the concept now, can be applied to many, different contexts. And this helps us to scale faster the different use cases that we have. It's very important, to have a very good balance between centralization and decentralization. I think it's part of our operating model. On development, we are 100% centralized. On data management, we are also quite centralized, but our objective as an IT data and AI function is to provide to the business the different tools, enablers that help them scale the business, the use case that deliver most value in a very effective way. So it's very important because it's part of our culture. We are trust providers actually to our clients, and we're so based on the relationships internally are based on trust and the fact that your business better than anybody when you operate the business, and that's very important. And we're here to give you the tools, enablers, and use cases that gives the most value for you, for your customers.
Love it. And how would you say, because now you said that still it's quite centralized in the sense of the IT team at least developing the tools, and you have all this team in Spain. Now, probably each of these labs are very smart people used to work with data. They come up with a lot of ideas of what you could be doing with data and AI. How do you orchestrate this, let's say, more close to the business reality, and then this central function of trying to build those solutions? What are the types of challenges that you face, things that work well?
We do have, I think, in many business lines, business partners or analytic translators that are people that usually depends on the business, but they do have a strong sense of what AI data means, and they have a good understanding of the technology. And I do believe that to scale, to leverage the AI revolution, it's very key to have these people, which I call analytic translators. I know the name is not so sexy, but it's very important to find the people that understand the business and understand the technology at the same time, and are able to build bridges. So there are bridges between the business and the technology on the other side. We do have those people in pretty much every lines of business, and they are very key to drive the roadmap. Also make a filter sometimes, or build common use cases for each business lines. So that's a community that we are operating and that we are building. And I think it's very important because as a data and AI function, we can not operate by ourselves. We need to operate closely with the business, support the business, and to try to understand their priorities and where the value is.
That's a very interesting concept. I've seen this in many organizations, right? To build this data business partners, those bridge makers, decentralizing it. I think what many companies then face very quickly. So I think, first of all, it's really, really good, and every company should do that. I think the challenge with it is that obviously with the decentralization, how do you make sure that you get the focus in? How do you make sure that you get the scalability in the organization from one area to another? How do you make sure that you're actually going to drive value and not just build data assets without the link to values?
It's a trade-off between, agility in one sense. I think to have decentralization brings you agility and, lots of positive energy from the ground. And that's something that is very important, I think, to keep. And at the same time, an industrial mindset, which, build things at scales, build factory. So we pretty much have the concept of this, factories. So, for example, we have development factories. We are setting up as well an AI factory, a generative AI factory, just to connect and ensure we have a consistent way and consistent use cases in the way we are tackling all these challenges. We are also very, organization very mindful of their resources. So at the end of the day, centralization brings also the efficiencies and the scale to really tackle all the challenges ahead in the most effective way. But very importantly, I think beyond the organization and the organizational chart, the real importance is to have good relationship between the people, because it's really, transformation is like a muscle. You need to really exercise it and build a healthy relationship with the business and between the people to move forward together. And that's something I've been really working on for many years in different organizations. I think the key success factor.
Love it. Thank you very much, Thibault, for giving us more insights on how it actually works. Perhaps to summarize it a little bit, you are a trust provider to your clients, and how you develop this. Obviously, this role of what you call the analytic translator, the bridge makers, is a really critical one to drive in a decentralized organization, but then still have the community of building a shared understanding, driving the transformation together. You talked a lot about the importance of, in your case, actually owning the development of the software and the IT yourself, which I think is a very interesting case, because many organizations try to outsource as much as possible to the external world, right? But you said it's really critical for you to own it, to shape it. I find also very interesting what you said about the transferability of the use case that you have. Even though you are in the water, in the food, in the mining industry, there are still, from the, let's say, AI functionalities that we have, quite some synergy. So I think this is very interesting. Another aspect to highlight is really this move to the cloud. I think is something that many companies are trying or are in the process. You had this very early on. I think probably it's also the essence of your business that gave you this advantage, right? Because if you need to give information quickly to your customers as well, cloud has some advantages. So thank you very much for shaping a little bit our understanding of how do you guys make it happen